Point is that don't resist arrest. And if you're a cop, don't shoot somebody if you intend to use the taser. I don't want to belabor this point too much, but fighting with police, resisting arrest, not a good idea, because you just ratchet up from 5 to 11. Now, you don't deserve to die resisting arrest. However, the blame here is on both sides. Now, Mr. Wright had numerous warrants for his arrest, or one warrant, didn't matter. He had a warrant for his arrest. He was driving a car with expired tags. That's stupid, because you're going to attract unwanted attention from people you don't want attention from, the cops. And also, when they went up to his car, they found something hanging from his rearview mirror. Again, that shouldn't be grounds for death. However, he had a warrant for his arrest, driving with expired tags in his car. They pulled him out to arrest him. Well, apparently, according to the body cam camera, they tried to stop him from getting back into his car. The 25-year veteran of the police force, a female cop, yelled, "Taser, taser, taser," and shot the guy with her Glock. Now, the blame here is applied evenly to both parties here. One, to Mr. Wright. He had a warrant for his arrest, and he shouldn't have resisted arrest. But that doesn't mean he should have died for that. Flat out. Also, let's look at the cop. She shouldn't have shot the guy for resisting arrest. Now, she did say she thought she had a taser. Well, she didn't. Now, I've never held a taser. I've held a Glock before. Glocks have a certain weight with them with a full magazine. Especially if you save a Glock 17, which is a lot bigger than a Glock 19. I'm not sure what she had, but I think she had a Glock 19. Regardless, they both have a certain weight to it. And also, tasers are yellow for the most part. And they're brightly colored, so you know that when you pull one, you know it's a taser instead of a Glock handgun. So, in my opinion, looking back from, Monday morning quarterback, essentially, I'm looking back at it this two ways. The blame is shifted to both parties. One, don't resist arrest, because you're not going to beat the ride, because you're always going to attract more attention, even if you get away. He did for a while, until he passed away after being shot. Also, the cop was wrong for trying to shoot this guy with a taser instead of what she thought she had a taser. It was a handgun. She should have known better. She had 25 years on the force, and she was training another police officer at the time. Again, the situation sucks. It is what it is. However, the reaction to it is to be expected in these trying times and the coof, life and times of the coof. Because, this riot last night wasn't as fiery as I thought it would be, but it was still fiery. That's not a super spreader event. No. That's social justice, because the virus goes home at night and doesn't attack people who are looking for answers. But if you're at a Trump rally, no, that's a super spreader event. Or you're at a Texas Rangers, baseball game, that's a super spreader event. But this isn't. The narrative isn't lost on me. Whatever. But it is what it is. I'll go through the story here real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So as of last night, a lot of people broke curfew because they said it was at 7 o'clock. They didn't care. They broke it. They demanded answers from people who don't really have the answers. Doesn't matter. So they went out and went to the police station at Beverly Center. And, well, you see, this time the cops were ready for them. They put up, concrete barriers, wire fences. They had the state police, the police of Beverly Center, Minnesota, and they also had the Minnesota National Guard out there. And of course, they were firing pepper spray back. They actually, if you saw some of the video, I was watching on Portland Andy's channel, I think Watch with Wayne, but I was watching them both. They both basically had the same streams from Unicorn Riot, those douche canoes. And, they were tossing, the tear gas canisters back at the police. They were firing fireworks at the police. The police were firing, riot munitions at the protesters, rioters, you mean. And it continued like that pretty much all night. Well, as some of the police officials try to get with the protest leaders, because these protests are never just spur of the moment. They're always planned ahead, obviously. They couldn't come to some sort of conclusion to stop this, so they continued on. So Minnesota Governor Tim Walz put the curfew out. No one abided by it. A bunch of people were arrested in Minneapolis and St. Paul, apparently. Interestingly enough, there was one case of a guy getting arrested, and they found out, oh, look, he's got a warrant for his arrest. Nothing happened to him. And of course, Kamala, a.k.a. Camel Toe Harris, went out and spewed her bullcrap nonsense. Por supuesto. The officer was identified as Kimberly A. Potter, whose career with the Brooklyn Center Police Department spanned more than 25 years. That's really about it. I honestly suspected that, expected the riot to get out of control. And it kind of did. They looted a Dollar Tree for some god-awful reason. Don't know why you would do that. But, I think that was close to the police department. So they did that and broke some windows. Some police officers were injured. Some of the protesters were injured. Blah, blah, blah. So, again, this will be night number 3. Because they're going to keep doing this. And as Portland burns, so does Minneapolis and Beverly Center. I would expect more of this to continue because there's no reason for these people to stop. Minnesota's been pretty much locked down technically. They haven't really opened up, such as like Florida or Texas or Louisiana or Georgia or Alabama. So these people have got a lot of time on their hands. Well, not for Mr. Wright. Again, the blame here, as I wrap this up, it's 50-50. Because just because you resist arrest doesn't mean you die. However, don't resist arrest. And if you're the police, you need some better training. This is what happens when you defund police. Their training dollars go out the window. And they can't train anymore. They can't train on specific instances such as this. Someone who's resisting arrest. Don't pull your gun out. Okay? Your handgun, your service your service pistol. Guess what there, folks? That's the last resort. Okay? It can be the first resort if the situation dictates. Okay? And again, I'm going to stress this. I am not a police officer. I've been in the military was in the military for 20 years. But I do know that, once you pull the trigger, there is no taking that bullet back. And that's why they sort of, go right to the taser, because they can control the subject for the most part. Well, not for Rayshard Brooks. That was another incident, which is still ongoing. But in this instance, that you can't take the bullet back. And you should know what the different weight of a handgun between a taser is. Handgun or a Glock 19 is black. A taser, for the most part, is yellow. Those are two different colors. There is a reason why they're yellow, because you know what's in your hand. Basically, she needed better situational awareness. Also, for Mr. Wright, he doesn't need to resist arrest. Also, going even further back for him, don't break the law. Don't break the law. And I'm pretty damn sure that he knew he had a warrant for his arrest. But then again, you got to look at this. He was driving around with expired tags on his car. Why? Why would you do that if you knew that you had a warrant for your arrest? And let's play devil's advocate. Maybe he didn't know he had a warrant for his arrest. Maybe he didn't. Then what? Why resist arrest? Maybe you can hash this out in court. Maybe it'll ever get better. We can't do that now because, one, you resisted arrest, and two, the cop wasn't properly trained, apparently, even though she was training another cop during this incident. And she killed somebody because she thought she had a taser in her hand. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But, again, as I wrap this up, more of this will continue until morale improves. And that's just the way it is. You're going to see more rioting. And it's going to expand to different cities. Possibly tonight, continuing on. Because this stuff, once it gets rolling downhill, it won't stop. And it should stop. People should just probably kick back a little bit and go, okay, you know. But no, they're not going to. And you can see more pandering and more BS from elected officials, woke corporations, which is all of them. And you see all these woke corporations here in front of you on the screen on the upper left. Those are all woke corporations. They don't have your best interests in mind. Point is that don't resist arrest. And if you're a cop, don't shoot somebody if you intend to use the taser.